What's going on, America? This is Kevin coming to you from Kevin's Corner, where I'm going to try to make some sense out of nonsense. Now, there's a lot going on. First things first, let's talk about President's trip overseas. First of all, I think he's doing an excellent job building relationships with people the past administration has ruined relationships with, or several past administrations have allowed some of these foreign actors to come into power and take advantage of America. I mean, he's focused on important things to Americans, just everyday life, like trade, extremely important. But he's also focused on national security because we have to deal with the North Korean issue. However, while he's over there doing that, the mainstream liberal media and several Democrats and political hacks are bad-mouthing our president, which absolutely blows my mind. Why don't they all just go to Russia? Why don't they all just go to some other country? Because all they're worth is doing nothing but throwing mud on the president. And by doing that, they're throwing mud on America. How dare they disrespect our president while he's overseas? In fact, before he's even made it back, you have Chuck Schumer saying it was a political flop. A flop? Come on, Chucky boy. First of all, I'd like to see you, Chuck, go overseas and do any of that. All right? Matter of fact, Chuck, I'd like to see you do anything here in America besides get on TV and criticize stuff before the results even come in. Tax reform, it's horrible. Immigration reform, it's horrible. I expect whatever Donald Trump does, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Mad Max Maxine, all of them, the first response is always going to be, it's horrible. It's going to affect American lives. People are going to be dying in the streets. It's going to be a nightmare, pandemonium. You guys are so predictable. But what really makes me mad is that they're so adamant about destroying our president that they are willing to put American lives in danger. Now, what do I mean by that? By pushing this false Russian narrative, they are messing up our ability to form meaningful relationships with foreign actors such as Russia. President Trump made some comments that they, of course, took out of context. Now, they like to tell you that, President Trump is being too nice on Putin. President Trump is being manipulated. He's not. He's a puppet. And I'm going, if you look at President Trump when he's overseas, he is the focal point every time that the camera's on him. When they showed him walking with Vladimir Putin and the rest of them, he's right in the middle. Everybody's jockeying to talk to him. When pictures are taken, he's right in the middle. He's the center of attention. His body language screams dominance and confidence, and yet you want us to believe that somehow he's licking the boots of Putin. He's being a smart businessman and a smart negotiator and a smart president. And until you all prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that President Trump or any of the people in his cabinet colluded with Russia, shut it up. Stop doing stuff for political reasons that eventually could affect our ability to make progress in the world. And so the bottom line, we're working with Russia if we need to, and when we don't, we don't. It's that simple. But for y'all to push this false narrative and try to drive a wedge between us and Russia is dumb, and you're putting Americans at risk by doing this stupid stuff for politics. Makes me upset. You know, and then I guarantee you, if President Trump was to step down today and a Democratic president would get up there, that Democratic president would immediately try to start some type of relationship with Vladimir Putin because they're smart enough to know that we need to work with Russia when we need to, and when we don't, we don't. But because Trump is the president and they're trying to continue this false narrative, they are putting our ability to make progress in the world in jeopardy. And it's dumb, it's reckless. People are able to see through it that are smart, and it's going to impact them in the future when it comes to elections. Anyway, moving on. Next topic, real quick. Senator Moore. Now, I know this is a very touchy topic because of the accusations that came out. And we're living in a very, very hypersensitive society right now when it comes to allegations of sexual improprieties. And I understand that. And remember, I never want to just come out and say, you know what? whatever these women are talking about is false and they should be whatever. But also am not quick to come out and say whatever somebody says about someone is absolutely true, especially when what they're saying could destroy someone's life and career. Now, here's just some practical ways to approach this, whether you believe it or not. What we have to do as humans is, first of all, rely on the law, which states you're innocent until proven guilty. Secondly, rely on some common sense without some emotional reactions. Now, here's some logical ways to approach it. First things first, Roy Moore was not the chosen candidate by the establishment party. Even though President Trump put his signature on him, on the other guy, I still look at Roy Moore as the outsider because when you look at his background, he went against establishment. And of course, they tried to stick it to him for that. But you look at who supported him. It was Steve Bannon. And the objective was to get another Trump-like character, someone who's not a part of the establishment, in Washington. So Roy Moore was opposed by not only the Democrats, but he's opposed by the establishment Republicans, which kind of puzzles me that so many of them are quick to say, oh, he needs to step down. Now, these are Republicans, which kind of makes me go, why are y'all so quick to just assume the worst and throw your own under the bus without even giving them a chance to defend themselves, to comment, they don't even put the burden to show the accusations are true on the people making the accusations, especially guys like John McCain, who has been a infiltrator the whole time. I really believe John McCain is on the other squad. I mean, you cannot tell me that this guy he's one of the ones that said President Trump is being weak over there. He believes Vladimir Putin. I'm going, John, you are going to destroy your legacy, my friend. All the stuff that people hailed you as, oh, he's a hero. When you end up retiring, they're going to look at you as a mole that was planted in the Republican Party to just destroy this presidency. And I can't understand for the life of me, why don't you just, if you can't say nothing good, just be quiet. Just be quiet, John. Zip it. Man. Anyway, my point being, you make these accusations about Roy Moore, and you make it at a time. And see, this is what gets me, because they did the same thing to President Trump. Right leading up to the final stages of the election, they throw these people out of nowhere. And it's done at a time where if you go to the legal route to try to disprove it, that would surpass the election process. So they know you don't have time to go to court and defend this. So they're going to put you in a position to make a choice whether you are going to just subside because of the accusations, not the proof, just the accusations and public opinion, or are you going to fight it and say, I didn't do it? And you have these people who comes out of nowhere, just like they did with President Trump. And what gets me is right after President Trump was elected, they just disappeared. And it made me wonder, like, wow, if you were really that upset about what happened to you, you would still be pursuing these accusations after he made it into the White House. Why is it that after he made it into the White House, they just disappeared? You never heard anything. Their purpose was fulfilled. Now, I'm not saying Roy Moore did or didn't do it. All I'm saying is you have to, if you are a practical thinking person, stop for a second and say, wait a minute. This man is in the middle of an election that he's winning, an election that he has won, and the majority of the Republicans and Democrats oppose him getting up there to Washington because he's one of the Steve Bannon supported people who are launching war against these Republicans in the establishment. And he also will get in the White House. He's a fundamentalist. He's going to be more pro-Trump than some of the other establishment Republicans. So I don't think that it's wise to just dismiss the fact that this is or could be a political hit job, especially considering, same with Donald Trump, he was in the limelight for years. President Trump was an entertainer. He was a billionaire for years. You didn't hear none of these people. They could have easily tried to hit him for money years ago. And yet none of them came out until he decided to run for president of the United States. Same thing with Roy Moore. Been in for 40 years. None of these people have come out and made these claims. In fact, when you listen to the claims, okay, let's just say he did try to date some of these women or whatever, and they're at their age. Um, you know, I wonder. I would like to hear from the woman. Like, what made her just say out of nowhere, he's about to be in the Senate, and I'm reflecting over these things that happened 40 years ago, even though I stopped him and he never went too far. But right now, I'm so upset because I can't fathom a man like this in office. So I'm going to go ahead and dish out all this information after 40 years. Now, I am not saying that she is lying, but if you're bold enough to make these accusations that could ruin this man's life, his career, be bold enough to step out of the shadows, take some hard questions, prove it, make people believe it besides just telling it to the mysterious Washington Post or whoever reported it, and they just throw it out there and everybody goes, well, if they accuse them, then it must be true. And so we run a dangerous risk of allowing stuff like this to become a weapon that mostly is used by the left to just manipulate the justice system and the voting system. When they don't like somebody, the first thing they do is throw out accusations that force them to have to prove themselves. And if they don't have time to disprove it, then they're stuck between saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take one for the team and resign based off of accusations, or I'm going to stay in, fight it, and if I win, then my reputation is going to be in question the whole time I'm in office. And you know what has really made this such a horrible situation is the fake, phony media. Now, what do I mean by that? The people in Alabama is going, whatever. I mean, I'm not buying it because the media lies. Now, Donald Trump's candidacy has really brought out how swampy the swamp is. It has showed us all of the corruption, the deceit, the lying, the manipulation that goes on not only in Washington, but in the media, on the left, all of that stuff. And I'm not even on the right. He has shown us how corrupt politicians will be when it comes to manipulating the system and the outcome. But it also has shown us how corrupt the media is. And so now the distrust of the media has grown to such a high level that when accusations like this come out of the media, which that particular media outlet has already supported the Democrat that's running, the first thing people think is, this is bullcrap. I don't believe it. They did it to Trump. They always pull stuff like this. And so now it creates an atmosphere where they're not trusted. And people are going, you know what? Until I see absolute proof, I'm not just going to throw my candidate under the bus. And what blows my mind is I don't see how the Republicans can just throw their candidate under the bus unless they don't really want him in office anyway. You never see the Democrats do that. You have Democrats right now who are on trial for stuff, and their people haven't thrown them under the bus. And so I just want them to really look at this more accusation and say, let's use some common sense, some practical sense. Let's not be hasty because we're dealing with a man's life, his career, everything. And some facts are starting to come out about this lady's background and who she supports and so on and so forth. So I don't know whether he did it or not, but I think people need to approach the whole situation soberly before they just immediately say, oh, she said it, then it must be true. Or the New York Post put it out, or the Washington Post put it out, it must be true. Whatever happened to innocent until proven guilty? I guess that just doesn't apply in politics. And if that is the case, then let's just start using that as a gauge to just destroy all opponents. Next person who run for president, yeah, he smacked my mom's when he was 12. And I ain't got time to disprove I didn't smack her. So now all of a sudden I got to fight this in the public's opinion or drop out the candidacy. Just throw out anything. And people will go, oh, well, I guess I got to drop out because somebody just said something about him or her. So it's very dangerous in our climate to throw these accusations out, to disprove them, to prove them. I think those are the important factors. You got to really, if you're going to throw stuff out like that, you got to come with some hardcore evidence because you're dealing with a person who's running for a high office. And it makes me go, should I just immediately believe everything that comes out, considering how dirty campaigns get and how crooked the left can be, how crooked the media can be, should I just go home? Especially considering this person who wrote the story just happens to wander into their city and come across several mysterious people that just ran to this person and said, we have a story to tell. Out of all 40 years, nobody has ran, and I just don't understand that. It makes me at least have some reservation. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm not saying that he's lying. I'm saying we need some definitive proof, considering the politics involved. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now, and I think what I'd like to do is one of the people who watch my YouTube channel brought up something, and I said, you know what? That's a good idea, and I appreciate that. My videos have become demonetized often because you know how it is. The liberal people on my channel, all the trolls will watch and you know, it will be monetized for a while, and then they'll come in and say, oh, my feelings were hurt because he said that Donald Trump's a good president. He's not. He hurts my feelings on the inside. So demonetize it, please. And then they demonetize my videos. And I really want to step up my video production. I want Kevin's Corner to become something that people around the world, across America, can really benefit off of. And so somebody said, they inboxed me on LinkedIn and said, look, we'd love to support you. Just give us a way to do it. And so I use the Cash app. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It's very safe. It's very quick and proficient. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the bottom of this video. And if you would like to donate to Kevin's Corner, I'd like to get some equipment. I like to get a nice little studio, some cameras, some lights and stuff like that. Bring some guests in and make it really nice for our audience. So if you'd like to support Kevin and Kevin's Corner, please click on the Cash app link and it'll kind of walk you through how you can donate to my cause. I want to let you know that I appreciate everybody who watches the videos. I really do. I'm passionate about this. And the way I look at it, you know, I didn't set out to become someone who is this involved and engaged in politics. I'm just a regular person who cares about America, who looks at situations from a logical standpoint and want to see people do the right thing, make the right choices, and make our country better, not worse. Which brings me to my final point. The NFL. What are these guys thinking? As a former athlete and a black person, I'm upset on both of these ends. I'm going, okay, if you are that mad over police brutality, guys, you gotta have some type of end game. Guys are still taking a knee, and they're not even doing it in a wise manner. Why in the world would you choose to take a knee when it's our day to honor veterans? It's like you just stuck a knife right in the NFL. If I was the owners, I would be like, dude, get out, get. Before he gets off the field, I want his locker cleaned out. Out. You messing us up, man. And they are going to mess up their careers. What really gets me about this is this quote unquote movement will one day fade away, along with their reputations, you know, and along with all the money and revenue that's lost, all the advertisement dollars, it'll fade away because it's not channeled in the right direction. It's done foolishly, impulsively, and emotionally. They're mad really at Donald Trump and his rhetoric. And I'm going, out of all the days to choose to take a knee, you choose to do it on the day that we are honoring our veterans. Now, even people who might have been tolerant to your cause are starting to go, see, now y'all going too far. Now it's really revealing how non-patriotic you are. Now you are aiming your anger and distaste towards America at the people who keep you safe at night. And you're not bringing any logic to this whole process. No demands, no end game, no nothing. Just a whiny, pouting protest. I'm going to take a knee until when? Until when? Is this going to be forever? When does it stop, man? It blows my mind. Cut it out, fellas, before you ruin not only your careers. As a black man who I understand how hard it is to overcome your past, the areas that we come from, and you in the NFL making money that's going to help you, your family, could help your community, could help all of these things, and you are risking it over a cause that you haven't I don't think even have looked deeply into very clearly. No end game. If you're going to do it the right way. Come call me. If you're in the NFL and you want to really protest in a way that it doesn't mess up the NFL, it doesn't mess up your career, I will help you. I will become your publicist. I will become a guy who says, look, man, let's do this smart and effective. Why don't we start talking about some ride-alongs with the police? How about us and the police going to communities together and build relationships? How about we meet with the police and find out what's really going on, or how we can better relationships, build relationships with the public? But to just say, man, you know what? I'm going to take a knee and throw a fit with no end game, no nothing, and disrespect people who might have been sympathetic to your cause that was in the military, it's reckless. And it further divides, it makes you look silly when it comes down to your protest to practical thinking people. Now, people who want to push division in our country, people who want to push race baiting, people who want to blame the left and Donald Trump and all his rhetoric, they will make you believe that they're sympathetic to your cause. But really, they have a bigger agenda. So if you're an NFL player and you're allowing yourself to be manipulated by the press, by the media, by some of these fake race baiters, please cut it out. Holler at me. I'll help you, man. Let's deal with individual cases, but let's not just say all of America is racist and they treat black people, they're killing them in the streets every single day without no hardcore data and evidence, nothing. Let's get some facts. Let's build a case practically. That's all I'm saying. The NFL's ratings are going to go down, and Roger Goodell is asking for more money. He needs to bounce. Got to go, Raj. I'm sorry, buddy. You didn't handle this right. You got to go before the ticket sales go and the ratings go. And that's my take on it. You've been listening to Kevin at Kevin's Corner. Like I said, if you want to donate, check out the link below. Also, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Those links are also on the bottom. And there's a link also for some pretty cool t-shirts. I'm just here trying to make some sense out of nonsense and speak some truth, because it's real hard to do in this day and age. Truth is the new hate speech. God bless you. God bless America. Take care.